All right, so we've got to take these bolts loose to get this caliper loose to get those pads. In this case, it's a 12 millimeter bolt. On the front, I believe they're a star socket. But anyway, hey brother, what you doing?
I thought you were talking to me.
No, I was talking to the camera.
Oh.
Get in there and get them loosened off. Those caliper bolts should not be super tight. I mean, they should definitely be tight, but you shouldn't need a big breaker bar or anything to crank them loose.
Slime, but it won't stick to any metal. Stick to the top.
Alright, so once you get those bolts out, the whole caliper should pull right off. You want to support that thing, don't let it hang by the brake hose, because you're just asking for trouble. You support that thing, and then your pads will slide right out. I've got my helper in the shop today, Mr. Russell. Can you, oh, be careful.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
So you'll hear the kids in the background. I have 5-year-old twins, and you'll hear them in the background a lot. So they like to come out to the shop and play and help. So let me go get a screwdriver and get these on out here. You can see how thin the material is on that pad. There's a little metal piece here, and that is actually probably what was squealing. It's shiny, it was definitely rubbing on the rotor. That is an indicator. That tells you, hey, your brake pads are just about shot, brother. Go get some new ones. This one, on the other hand, the outboard pad is getting close. It's not, it's definitely needed to be replaced, but it has a lot more material, friction material left on it. That could be the sign of a caliper sticking a little bit. I don't think it really is, though. I think it's just the way that it clamps on. Disc brakes, those pads are always sitting against the rotor. Whether it's clamped or not, the pads still sit there and rub. So I think it's just the way it wore. I don't think it's a sticky caliper that needs to be replaced. If it were, you can buy the caliper and replace them, no problem. You have to bleed the brakes, which is, if you're not familiar with bleeding brakes, there are some one-man kits, and that's why I use a little vacuum kit that actually sucks the brake fluid back through and sucks all the air out. That's what you're doing. You're bleeding the air out of the brake system, because once you open up that brake line to put the new caliper on, you introduce air into the hydraulic system. Hydraulic fluid doesn't compress. Air does compress. So if you get air in your brake system, that's when you get a spongy pedal, an unreliable pedal. It's just not, you don't want to take that chance with your brakes. You need to have all the air bled out of that system. So I'm not replacing this caliper, so we won't get into bleeding the system today, but definitely keep in mind, anytime you open up the brake system, the hydraulic lines in the brake system, you are introducing air and you have to get that bled out. A lot of modern cars with ABS systems, you actually have to electronically activate the ABS actuator to bleed the system, and most people don't have that capability. That has to go to a dealer or a mechanic with a dealer level scan tool who can talk to that actuator and cycle it. Depending on the model, there are some workarounds for that. There are some cheats, basically, But just keep that in mind. Anytime you open up a brake system, open up the hydraulic part of the brake system, you are introducing air and it has to be bled.